Hello, pumpkin friends. It's Shad here, and today I'm going to tell you a smidgen about misters, why I use them, why I like them, why you should consider using them, and maybe some not so great things about misters. So, stay tuned. Okie dokie, artichokey. Thanks for sticking around, and maybe consider subscribing to the channel, share it with a friend, thumbs up, hit the bell, all that stuff. If you didn't see the video that I just made about the fertilizer watering system, make sure you check that out. But since I'm home during the day, and that's really infrequently the case, I thought I would make a video about my misting system. That is another topic that I get asked about a lot. And there's a lot of rumors, a lot of opinions, a lot of almost fell off my board, a lot of questions about misting systems, and let's talk about them a little bit. So one of the biggest things that I hear is that if you have a misting system, the water is going to land on the leaves, and man, this is dating me, but you watch the commercial about like the Minwax or whatever, and the bead forms a magnifying glass and it burns your car. So that's why you need to wash your car and get the water spots off. Same concept, I think, is what people think happens to pumpkin plants, and I just don't think that is the case. At least in an environment that is a high desert, it's hot and it's dry. Perhaps if you're in the down south or somewhere where there's a ton of humidity, and that water droplet would sit on your plant all day long, that could be a different story. But I question it. So I run some ultra-fine misters. I have 3 rows. Sorry, the noise. It's kind of windy outside and the plastic is flapping. I run 3 rows of misters. Right, you can see them there, these little blue guys. I get these from dripworks.com. And they're really good little ultra-fine misters. It's kind of like at the grocery store when you're buying some vegetables and the psst comes off. They use a weird size tap. What I did was I ran just straight pressure, no pressure reduces or anything from my my faucet, my hydrant rather, and then I tapped the PVC. They come with these little plastic booty bushing things that you're supposed to push that in, and then when you thread in the misting nozzle, it's supposed to put pressure on that booty, and the friction holds it into place. Those are a hunk of CRAP junk, and I had to find the thread size for them. I don't remember, like 2 years ago I made a video about the making of this, and it's in there. So if you want the thread size, reference back to those videos. And then I have it go off from roughly 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. because that's what my timer does. Back in years past, I'm going to fiddle with the phone for a second. In years past, I used to have what was called a propagation timer or a seconds timer that would allow me to have these misters go off for like 30 seconds every 90 seconds. And I really liked that, but unfortunately that timer got kind of old and it broke, and they don't make that timer anymore. That was 2 years ago. Maybe they have something else now, some sort of replacement for that. But as of right now, there is no inline, connect to the hose, connect to your system timer that does that. I could get complex. I know that sprinkler irrigation systems have that ability. Some of them do, but it's a little more complex that I want to do at this point in time. So let me show you the difference and kind of how the plants look with the mist. Here we go. Mist versus not mist. Downsides. The downside is, and I don't even know if this is necessarily a downside, is the areas underneath the mist. You can see where this area is in my spray pattern, in my spray zone over there. Is that right here, is that it puts down a lot-ish of water. I don't think that a lot of water is a bad idea, or is bad in general, just because of kind of my new philosophy this year of adding more water. Let's get a wider angle. There we go. So I don't think that having moist soil all the time is a bad thing. if your soil capacity could handle it. Thankfully, you know, my soil drains down, and then I have the drains inside of the soil, so I don't think that it's a problem. My problem is when my plants get too hot. So that is problem number one. So let me show you. Let's get a little closer here and show you precisely what I'm talking about. Get a little closer. So I think you can probably see it. This vine, these leaves are in the direct mist zone. I haven't really maintained them. Like this one, I need to put some new nozzles on because they do clog. They get some like mineral built up in there and they clog. So like this nozzle right here is pretty much not functioning right now, and I'm gonna do that right now and fix it because I've been saying I am for a week, and today is the time. So this vine is getting misted. Look at it, falling down, too fat. And this one is not. So you can see that this leaf has some burn on it. This leaf is droopy because it's hot. This leaf right here is getting just a little bit of mist on it. So the difference between this vine right here and this vine right here, there's no burning on that vine. There's some burning on this leaf a little bit. This leaf, and this one's droopy, so it's a little hot. Same with these vines right here that are not in the mist zone. You can see burn, 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 a little bit of burn and whatnot, because this area, because of this mister not working correctly right now, these ones are not getting any water on them, and then the rest of the plant is. Sorry about that. I had to turn off the misting pump, or the mixing pump over there, and turn on my my now automatic system. So again, you know, we're back here in a mist-free zone. You can see that's over there, kind of right up above the stump, which I will have to cover that eventually. You know, all those leaves are fine, and then when we get back out of here in the no mist zone, these leaves are hot. They're getting burned, and they just look, in general, not overly happy compared to, we go one vine up and these are all fine. So I mean, you know, that kind of, that's all you really need to know there, is that the water helps the plant. It keeps it cool, it keeps it from getting overly sunburned, and it gives your plant lots of water. So that's my 2 cents on it. If there was a problem with it, if water on the plants was an issue, my plants would look like junk over the last 3 years. And in general, my plants typically look pretty darn okay, unless like I accidentally shut off the wet wall, or I forget to turn on the misters or something like that. But there's no widespread damage on any of my plants because of the misters. So my opinion, my 2 cents would be, if you're in an area where, you know, you can't have a shade cloth, or even if you can have a shade cloth but you're still having issues, like a lot of people here in like a Colorado, maybe a California, anywhere where it's hot and very intensely bright sun all the time, you know, a shade cloth and some misting would go a long way. And I don't think that there's a whole lot of drawback to it. You know, again, I don't think the water sitting on the leaves is a problem. And the only thing I could really think about is if you're putting down too much water, or perhaps late in the season, once powdery mildew starts to become a thing, watering really late in the day or misting late in the day, going into the evening time with moist plants might be an issue, but that's something you can rectify with your timer so that they're dry going into nighttime. And I think that's it. If you have any misting questions, post down below. I'll get to them. If you think that misters stink, let me know why you think they stink. I'd be curious to see everybody's thoughts on misting your giant pumpkin plants. And yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, whenever that'll be. And get out there and grow yourself a giant pumpkin. There's a little one right there. See ya.